Hi guys, Marty from Cobham FC TV here today for a very, very special podcast with a very special guest. Now, this guy is potentially Mr. YouTube himself that has created huge tracks in the YouTuberverse. A personal friend of mine who I thank very much for his time to let me have some time. And also very recently, let me just show you the winner of this. Now, this is a serious award, and we're going to get into all that sort of stuff. First, if you haven't already, please like, please subscribe to the channel, please share, and please comment on the video. We're going to be getting into some absolutely awesome stuff with Robbie. We're going to be going through his life. We're going to be going through AFTV, DR Sports. This guy's done it all. So, without further ado, let me introduce to you Mr. Robbie Lyle.
Nice intro, man. Mr. YouTube. I would have called that before. That's a big one. But yeah. No. Great to be here, Marty.
Thank you. Really appreciate it. And thank you for giving us your time. And I think for me, the story that I will put out there straight away, what I really love about you, Robbie, and you know, there's a lot of people in this space. You're a very humble guy, and I remember a story of I went to a Caribbean shop. Big shout out to Sugarcane in Bognor Regis, and I saw a picture of a lad there, Huey, who had terminal cancer. And at that time, I'd probably known you for nearly about a year and done some, you know, quite a bit of stuff on AFTV. And I remember it was a Saturday afternoon, about 3 o'clock. You're a very busy guy, and showed you the picture of this lad and just said, look, could you just send over a video? And, you know, just to wish him, you know, some support. And straight away, within 20 minutes, literally, you responded with a video for him, who I forwarded on. And it made that lad's day, week, you know. And that's what I love about you, Robbie. You're a very humble guy. And even doing this for us today, you know, it's great to spend some time with you. And, you know, we're going to get to know a bit more about you here. So thank you very much, man.
No, my pleasure.
So,
no
Mr. Robbie Lyle, so please tell everyone where you were, what area you grew up in, school, what it was like for you growing up, and then we're going to go into some of your sort of crucial Robbie. You're going to go into your music, because you had a huge music career as well.
Yeah, the music career was good. Well, listen, born in London.
Yep.
And I sort of grew up between there and then moved to Luton.
Yeah.
My parents, you know, I mean, my dad wanted to, you know, move away from London, because he's from northwest London, and he wanted to buy his own property because, you know, came over from Jamaica, and that was his dream, to own his own property. And the only place he could afford to do that was in Luton. So I moved to Luton, and so I did like my some of my schooling there, and yeah, it was you know, I had 3 brothers, and you know, got up to what kids got up to at them sort of ages. But I don't think I was a bad kid, you know what I mean? And yeah, went to school there. And then when I was older, actually, you know, finished school, sort of moved back to London for a time, then back to Luton, then back to London. Wow. So I've sort of been in between the two places, but, you know, got my love of Arsenal by, you know, initially through my cousins, and started going to watch Arsenal at a very young age, and just fell in love with Arsenal. And as you said, the other thing that was my real passion at that time was music. As a teenager, my brother had a sound system. I initially just used to go along and just help to lift the boxes into the venues, you know, with the box boy, as they used to call it back in the day there, right? And then just used to mess around with a mic, and just started to realise that I had a little talent for that. And that became my career for quite a while, for quite a long time as well. So I kind of lived like 2 lives.
Yeah.
2 or 3 lives.
So tell us a little bit about that career as well, because, you know, when I look more into it, and obviously I've done my research, but I know you, so that helps. But obviously the crucial Robbie, because you had a really big hit with this as well. Yeah,
I had a big hit. So what it was, I used to be on the sound system circuit, and, you know, my brother's sound system was quite popular. So, you know, it grew to be popular. I mean, it started out from nobody really knew it, but it grew to be really popular. So we used to tour all around. We used to go like all around the UK. You know what I mean? So we'd be in Birmingham and Nottingham. And before that, I hadn't even been to those places. You know what I mean? It was just London, Luton, that was it. So started going around England, and I had a lyric that I used to do called "Proud to Be Black," which really, every time I used to like perform it in a venue, it went down really, really well. So in the end, we turned it into a recording. It came out and it did brilliantly. It went to #1 in the UK reggae charts, and that kind of just took me to the next level, because all of a sudden now I started performing on my own and performing like all around the UK, around Europe. Wow. Did an appearance one time on Reggae Sunsplash, which was like, that's like that'd be like, say, for instance, it's your pinnacle as a reggae artist, because reggae is what I did. Did a few shows in America as well. So yeah, the reggae career was good. You know what I mean? Like, got to meet loads and loads of artists, got to do loads of shows and do various things with some of the biggest artists at that time. So yeah, it was good. It was good as a kid. Growing up, it was a great scene to be part of. The reggae scene was, taught me a lot of lessons that I still have to this day, because it toughens you up. You know what I mean? But yeah, it was a great time.
I was just going to say, because we'll come on to it, obviously the AFTV stuff and the DR Sports stuff in a bit, but for me, you've always had a real natural presence behind a mic. Just the way I've been outside many a time, 2 hours in the freezing cold, outside after being outside in the freezing cold for 90 minutes upwards, 2 hours. And
or longer.
Yeah, and the rest, and you kind of, where it freezes your brain, literally. And that stage presence with the mic, you seem just very affluent with it, in how you can deliver that. So would you attribute a lot of today's, being in front of the camera and mic to those years as a reggae artist?
I do 100%, because like it taught me a lot of things when I was in the reggae industry. #1, it's really, really competitive. Yeah. Right. So, and you can't afford to fall off. Like when you're doing like music, especially like in those days, reggae, you just could not afford to fall off. So you always had to be on your game. Yeah. So if you did a show, you always had to perform. You couldn't drop your performances. If you wanted to stay ahead of the competition, you really had to work hard. And so I learned from those times to put it in. Yeah. You know what I mean? I wouldn't shirk it. You know what I mean? If I had to put it in, I'll put it in. I'd always be writing lyrics. I'd always be trying to think of what's going to make me stand out and be different to the other artists. So, and hard work, you know what I mean? It just taught me to just work really hard, because, if you didn't, you just fall away. And I didn't have nobody really backing me. I was doing a lot of it myself. So I think I learned some really, really important lessons in those days. I learned things like, because, for instance, everybody... Bit like what you get a lot even now. Yeah, everyone will come and they'll promise you this, and I can do this for you, and I can do that for you, and you pretty quickly start to learn that probably 70% of them don't, 80% of them ain't doing nothing for you. Some of them are trying to rip you off. Some of them are just BSing it. So I just learned so many lessons then. Yeah. That I then, was able to carry a lot of those into when I'm doing stuff now, you know what I mean? And so I'm very grateful for those times. It's almost like it was a training ground. Do you know what? For now.
Everything you talk about there and everything I know of you today, I know how serious you take AFTV, DR Sports, and this whole football thing. And you're someone that I just know is always on their game. You're so organised. You're so meticulous. You're so well planned, thought out, and you're such a reliable guy. And I always thought, where does this come from? And usually with people, it's from a deep hunger. Some people it's because they've gone without. Some people because there's a lesson in life that's been taught to them. Or some people have been in a hard situation, or some people have or been inspired by something. And that's why I think I ask those questions. It's really interesting to know where you got this modern day version of it, where you're leading from the front.
And I'm a guy, I'm always very hungry for, hungry for success, hungry to do well. I want to do well. And I'm also a person that doesn't dwell on, if you have done well, that's brilliant, and, enjoy it. revel in it at that moment. But then, what's next?
Yeah.
What about tomorrow?
Yes.
I've always kind of got that view. So, when tomorrow comes, what's next? And it's a bit like if you draw the analogy like football, isn't it? I mean, Man City won the league last season, and the season before that.
Yeah.
But having a poor season this year, I'm sure Pep Guardiola is looking and saying to himself, well, listen, how do I turn this around?
Yeah.
What next? You know what I mean? Because you can only live off of those accolades for so long, despite the fact that he's won everything and he's done every accolade.
Yeah, and multiple times.
And multiple
at
times.
multiple clubs.
He's sitting there feeling it now, thinking, no, I mean, I got to get myself back into gear to do it again. So I'm kind of like that as well. Or I'm not a Pep Guardiola, but that's how I like to think. I like to think like, well done, pat yourself on the back, reward yourself, enjoy that moment, but then what's next? What are you going to do next? How do you take it to the next level?
So after the reggae career, you're working full time as a surveyor. Yeah, surveyor, and then obviously the AFTV thing. So how did the surveying come about? How did you train for that, qualifications, and what were you doing it for?
Yeah, I've been doing it. So I was doing the music stuff for quite a while. I was doing, and it wasn't so. I had the music career performing.
Yeah.
Then after a while, that started to fade.
Yeah.
Then I started doing lots of promotions, and I dabbled in the nightclub business and stuff like that. That started to fade a bit after a while, and I was like, yeah, I need to get a proper job. Right? I've got things to pay, man. I've got kids. I've got mortgage to pay and all that. So I was working for a housing department.
Okay.
And I remember I always used to. It's funny how I transitioned into that job, because I always used to see the surveyors coming in, because I worked in sort of housing, but in the they had a department where all the surveyors worked as well, and I always used to see them coming in their suits.
Yeah,
and they'd always be out the office. They'd be like, "Yeah, we've got to go out now. We've got to go and have a look at this building and that one." I was thinking, "Yeah, I want a job like that." I'm stuck in the office all day. I want one of them jobs. So they liked me at the place where I was working. And then I said, you know what? I go, they were doing this scheme where you could train. They had like a training scheme there where you could train to do, other jobs and things like that. So I said to them, I'd like to train to be a surveyor. So they're like, yeah, but that's not connected to the actual job you're doing at the moment. So I said, yeah, but that's what I want to do. And if I can't do that, then I'll probably consider leaving, and they kind of liked me so much that they didn't want me to leave. So they then said to me, all right. So I started doing day release.
Okay.
And it was so hard. Like I was going to a college in the College of Northwest London, it was at the time. I found it really difficult when you sort of like, not studied for a long time.
Yeah.
And then you got to be studying for a degree, and that it was so tough. But got through that, did all that, and
got the
then
degree.
eventually got the surveyor's job, and became a surveyor, and then started, eventually left that place and was doing it at various different companies.
That's a huge transition from
it was
a reggae star to a surveyor with a degree, and then he goes to being a YouTuber.
You got, I mean, as I said, I mean that was really tough because as I said, I hadn't studied for a long time.
Yeah.
So I'd forgot about like when they're giving you work to do and that, and then there was a lot. I was never really good at maths at school. Okay. And there was a big maths element to it. And I was thinking, why do I need this for? You know what I mean? But it was just a big maths element to it. But yeah, managed to get through that, scraped through that, and got the job. And once I got the job, I really enjoyed it. I used to really like, I was a building surveyor, so I used to really enjoy it. You know what I mean? And I did that for quite a few, about a good 6-7 years.
So when was your first Arsenal game?
My first Arsenal game was back in probably around about 88, in the 80s.
Okay.
The first Arsenal game. I had a season ticket at Highbury.
Well, look, thank you so much, Robbie. I really appreciate it. It's been amazing, and I hope you guys have thoroughly enjoyed watching this. I've had great fun and doing this, and if you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel, please like, please comment. It really helps. I've had an absolutely awesome time. You've been an absolute legend, mate.
Nice
and one of the nicest guys, as I say, I've met in life and had the honour to be around. Well done on your achievements. Keep it going. Thank you for having me, and thank you for letting me work alongside you as well.
No worries,
in AFTV. It means the world to me.
We enjoy it. So no, and you're great. So thank you.
Thank you, Robbie. So over and out. Hope you guys enjoyed it, and we'll see you on the next video.
There's a guy who does a boxing channel.
Okay.
Called Coogan.
Coogan Cassius.
Coogan Cassius, right?
Yeah.
So me and him had a season ticket together. We used to go to games. I couldn't believe it when they reached out.
Yeah.
And said, the Prime Minister's office, and said, "Oh."
So they reached out to you.
They reached out to us
and said, "Can we come on AFTV?"
They reached out to us, and they said,
"This has
Robbie,
gone from essentially you filming outside a football stadium, speaking to fans, what you did it for, to give fans a voice, to now a full-scale business with how many employees?
About 25 full-time staff. You've got studios. You've got, lots of things.
In fact, we're